All right, good morning, everybody. I'm Mark Sussman. I'm the editor of Willamette Week and just delighted to be here with Joe McFerrin. I see you in your office. I assume you're sheltering in place for the most part, or just tell us about your situation.
Yeah, Mark, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to share with you and your audience. I'm in my office today. I spend most days at home. My wife's also at home. So every once in a while, I got to get out of the house and get to the office for so that honeydew list doesn't continue to grow.
And at the risk of stereotyping, many of your students are students for whom a traditional high school won't work. Many of them are students who come from really highly unstable backgrounds. You've got a bunch of homeless students. You've got students that have come to you because they were bullied at another school, because their domestic situation is just unhealthy. I mean, they have a lot of obstacles before they even get to your classroom. And what your classroom provides is, in addition to academic learning and opportunity, it's also just a safe place, correct? And I'm just wondering how your students are doing, given that they're at home, and home for them is probably different from what a lot of us think about kids in home.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We provide, you're correct about, if you wanted to summarize the kind of kid we target, it's that kid who struggled academically. It's that kid that is finding a difficult time connecting with caring adults. So we provide a small school environment with 5 locations where there's a high adult to student ratio. So kids get a lot of attention. And you could imagine how challenging it could be for some of our kids, most of our kids, because they're used to getting a lot of love and attention at Rosemary Anderson High School, and of course our small middle school. And so in addition to a warm place, a welcoming place, a place where you're going to be challenged, but you're also going to be supported, you get an opportunity to get a warm meal. You know, for some of our kids, I would imagine can be one of the best meals that they get, including snacks, water, etc. I've talked to a few of our teachers and administrators, and it's all over the map. You know, some kids are okay, they're doing pretty good, but a lot of kids are struggling. And because we are a relationship-based organization, before COVID hit, we knew many of the challenges that many of our students face. So this is something that we knew what we were getting into. So we haven't had a lot of surprises, but we've been working to figure out how to reach out to homes and help kids that we know are really struggling.
Well, and you've got a lot of kids, talk about the digital divide, who I assume don't have their own laptop. I think you told me that once you moved to offline learning, you were able to get laptops in most of your students' hands, but I assume a lot of them don't even have Wi-Fi.
Right, you are absolutely right. So we've been working to get hotspots out, and that has been some good, some bad. It's been a struggle. It was difficult to get hotspots. So hotspots around the current, you couldn't even purchase hotspots because of the demand. They were out of stock. It's kind of like PPE hit at some point. And so we were able to get some hotspots through a variety of different venues and individuals supporting our organization. But you're absolutely right. I was a little taken aback about how many, or approximately how many, families did not have access to Wi-Fi. And I'll say this too. One of the things that's, from an academic standpoint, that's been challenging is, and it's no fault, there's no finger pointing here, but that pass, no pass. I think that has, for the third and fourth quarter, our students who we've been able to push really hard to achieve. I think some of our students are I'm hearing feedback that they're taking care of that pass, no pass as an opportunity to kind of float a little bit. And again, that's also a challenge. So we've got serious challenges on our hands. One, the academic side, and then two, supporting kids in their home and with their family.
Joe, what discussions are you having now about when you might open the classroom? I mean, is it just at this point they're saying, don't even talk to us now, or are you having those conversations, and what are they like?
Basically, we have to follow the state's lead. So we're at the mercy of the state. But the question becomes, and the one that we are grappling with, is what will school look like if there are certain parameters around number of students in a classroom, around passing in the hallway, if there's some social distance requirements that impact our school, which I believe there will be, we're trying to prepare for that. I mean, are we going to have students on an A and B schedule? Some, we're kind of playing these scenarios out. We have students coming in the morning, and then a different set of students coming in the afternoon. Do you do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday? How do you continue some distance learning and, as a strategy to having students in the building? So we're kind of playing all those scenarios out and the impact. The other say this, I think it's critical that we, in partnership with others, provide a robust summer youth workforce training program like we've had in the past. I would hate to see the city eliminate or postpone or just do away with the summer works program. I think that would have devastating impacts on students in terms of the choices that they will make this summer, and then also a lot of these kids who work in the summer help contribute to the household. Sure. So I'm hoping that the city of Portland, Multnomah County, Work Systems Inc., and others will figure out a way to fully fund and even increase the dollars invested in our summer internship programs.
Given that, we've got a pandemic, and hopefully we'll work our way out of it, and now we have to deal with this economic shortfall, the depth of which is not clear, but it's going to be substantial. That's going to affect government funding. That's going to affect funding for schools. What's the funding picture as far as you can tell?
Well, right now, as you could imagine, there's all sorts of conversations coming down, city, state, county, federal government around cuts to human services. And I'm hoping that our public and elected officials make sure that the most vulnerable populations are held harmless. It's bad enough that low income people of color are at the top of all the negative outcomes. And so this is an opportunity to really put equity where your mouth is.
So, one final question. I talk to a lot of people, and we talk about sheltering in place, and so many people say, I'm actually doing okay because I realized what an introvert I am. You're one of the most extroverted people I know. You love people. And I'm just wondering, how do just personally, I mean, you're someone who really feeds off touching and talking and communicating with people. Just how is it for you when all your human contact is done via phone line or a Zoom video?
No, it's a struggle. The struggle is real for me. And people with my type of personality, I mean, it has been a struggle. So what I've been doing, I sit on my porch, and people walking by with the dogs and all that, I just strike up a conversation. I'm walking the side of my house, I talk to my neighbors. So I'm doing a lot. I'm turning into that guy, right? That